Dennis Sperling. If you've been involved in an accident, call me and I'll fight for you. I'm not an actor or a celebrity spokesperson. I'm a real trial lawyer, and I've appeared before real judges and real juries on behalf of people with serious injuries. So when I say I'll fight for you, I mean it, and I'll back it up. If you've been hurt in an automobile or 18-wheeler accident, contact me toll free at 866-529-2444, and I'll fight for your rights.
Think about this, Jeff, man. This is the same culture that allowed, how many was it, 120 million blacks to be kidnapped from the west coast of Africa and brought all the way over to this new world. Right. And we still here 400, 500, 6 years later, no help from our brothers in that. This is the same culture. Like what we still have the same disunity.
Or in LA.
Okay, all right. So here, bro, why is that bad if it benefits them?
Because they came together to.
Why is that bad if it benefits them?
This is what
they're doing it because it benefits them.
Because it says African Americans, it specifically mentions us because we were getting resource streams after the civil rights movements and the money was going to us. They decided to not be white no more.
Okay, great. That benefits them. You don't get what I'm trying to say. Why are we mad at them for doing what benefits them?
Because that was a move against us. They were like, hey, these black people get money from us.
But why are you mad at them for doing what benefits them?
I'm not mad at them for that, but we should do the same thing and on some op shit.
There we go.
So take
the answer, brother. And you know what that means? That's what I've been saying this whole time. Unity. Don't worry about what they're doing. You focus on unifying yourself. See, all this complaining about what the next man is doing that benefits him, that's not taking us any steps further. But she's not going to have any access to that 800 million. Now, she probably was getting $1 million a month from her husband. I can't see how he didn't have $1 million. Here's a black card, baby. Go do what you do. But so now she's in a situation where, damn, I'm about to lose everything because I had a miscalculation. And that's where the old saying go, pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. That's what old brother says. So she tried to be a hog and now she's about to get slaughtered. You see what I'm saying, bro? So, you know, that's unfortunate, but I don't feel sorry for Dr. Dre. I feel sorry for the guy that's making $15,000 working at Sam's Club or Walmart, who has 2 kids by a woman who has 3 other kids, and he the only one paying child support, and his child support goes to paying all these other kids. That's the one I feel sorry for. Well, I've been practicing law going on 21 years now, licensed in Texas, Louisiana, Illinois, New York. I'm also licensed to practice in several federal courts and the United States Supreme Court, along with the Fifth Circuit, U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. I started off at Grambling State University. I went to Southern University for law school, graduated in 2000, took the bar July 2000, scored a perfect score. And then when I went on to Tulane University Law Center, where I got an LLM in environmental and energy related law. My love has always been tort law, environmental law. I started off wanting to be a biologist. Well, I wanted to be a veterinarian. Then I kind of said, I don't know about that. After they had me dissecting rats. So I'm like, I think I'll stick to the lawyer stuff. But either way, you know, I enjoy what I do. I practice personal injury law in Texas, mostly Texas and Louisiana. And recently, since 2017, I've been heavily involved in environmental tort litigation here in Houston.
Dramatization.
After a car wreck, you may have to fight with a highly trained insurance company rep whose job is to knock your damaged claim down and out. It's a bad idea to enter the ring alone against a trained boxer, and it could be a bad idea to fight against a big insurance company by yourself. When the bell rings, attorney Dennis Sperling will be there to fight for your rights.
If you've been seriously injured in a car wreck, call me, attorney Dennis Sperling, at 866-529-2444. That's 866-529-2444.
Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App, make sure you contribute to the PayPal, make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks.
And we got a lot of stuff going on politically. And the question that I presented today for the brothers here is, this is my statement, just because Trump has been voted out doesn't mean that the show is over. 70 million fervent followers voted for him in 2020, despite knowing all of his shortcomings. Trump is a symptom. He is a reflection of how nearly 1/2 of Americans feel. How does this affect Black men? Let's talk about it. And as the opening statement, it was 2021 and beyond, 70 million Trump voters aren't going anywhere. Look, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that 5 people have been shot and killed in Washington, D.C. As of now, related to the protest outside the Capitol building. One of them is this gentleman, Benjamin Phillips. He basically runs a Trump website, pro-Trump website called Trumparoo, where patriots can mobilize against the corrupt, communist, Marxist, scummy Democrats. Here's another one. We just learned avid Trump supporter Kevin Greeson, who regularly posted online about getting his guns and taking the country back, was one of the 4 people who died in the siege. It was 5 people who died in the siege of the Capitol. Post from Greeson wishing bad things to happen to Nancy Pelosi and identifying with the Proud Boys were found as well. So here's what I'm saying, fellas. You know, these guys, these people are not going anywhere. Because see, all that's going to happen is once these white folks, you know, nature's going to take this course, and 50, 100 years from now, this is going to be predominantly probably a Latino country. You see what I'm saying? You're going to still be mad? Because they
not
know what
a bad thing. I mean, what are they? It's just another group of white
they're
folks.
going to do what benefits them. What are you going to do to benefit you? I can't be mad at Ariel or other Hispanics for doing what benefits them, bro. If Slim told me this a long time ago, man, when I was a youngster, man, he's a hustler. Anybody who reads my book, he said, man, you never get mad at another man about his own stuff. I can't get mad about it, the Hispanic man for doing what's in his own benefit. Hey, I can't get mad at the white man for doing what's in his own benefit. You see what I'm saying? If I'm weak enough that what he does F's me over, that's my own damn fault.
I mean, it was on the sneak. This happened before I was born, bro. This was your generation, 1980s, the early 80s. It was. Man,
how old are you, bro? How old are you?
36, bro.
You 36. I'm 46. We the same age, bro.
I'm 48.
We the same age, Megatron. You a grown man. You not a baby. You a grown man. We the same age. You understand what I'm saying? We're viable and living at the same age right now. It's just as much your responsibility as mine, brother. What advice do you have for Black men who are, you know, being shamed and people harassing them and stuff about, you know, the wife that they choose, women they want to date? Well, what's your advice to these brothers, man?
I mean, focus on your purpose. You know, like they need to keep their head down like you did and focus on their purpose, whatever that may be. You know, I would say also try and get yourself into a situation where, you know, you're free. You know, you have a job that you can work online. So you can optimize your time doing other things or start another business. Mm-hmm. I mean, that should be your focus. You know, the haters are always going to be there. They're not going to disappear. All right. And you just got to keep focused on your purpose and do you. I mean, we used to have that back in the day, right? Before, you know, focus on yourself is just do you, and everything else should, you know, iron itself out.
They didn't do. We won't pick sides. What we won't do is get ourselves involved in these sort of political skirmishes that have been going on between the two factions in this country for hundreds of years. What we need to do is take this opportunity to build our own infrastructure, deal with our own internal issues, and not get baited into Republican and Democratic talking points or conservative or liberal talking points. It really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, they're just trying to figure out who's going to be in control of these resources that the dominant society has taken from the rest of the world. It has nothing to do with us. And so when I see black folks picking sides, yeah, it's great. I don't care if you voted for Trump. I don't care if you voted for Biden. It doesn't matter to me, because at the end of the day, you're still a black person, especially you as black men. You as a black man, you need to focus on what you need to do. Make yourself a better person. Figure out what it is you need to enhance your position in this world right now. That's what you need to do. You don't need to get caught up into what Trump is doing. Oh my God, I can't believe that he needs none of your business. Nothing. Because as soon as they finish with them, they're gonna go right back to you.
I'm not a lawyer, but my daddy is. Yeah. If you've been hurt in a car accident, call my daddy. No need to scream and yell like a little kid. Yeah. My daddy will fight for your rights. Yeah, fight for your rights. If you've been involved in a car accident, call my daddy, returning Dennis Sperling.
Hello, I'm attorney Dennis Sperling. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call me at 713-229-0770.
Call my daddy.
Dennis was called to participate on a panel to speak to that. And when Dennis' time came up, he said, no, I disagree with Lonnie Love. This is a very simple issue. She is too big to get the kind of men that she wants. It's that simple.
Real simple. And anybody, I mean, is anybody willing to tell the emperor that he has no clothes on at this point? Like, who's going to stand up and just say, no, it's because you weigh like 350 pounds. That's why you can't get the men that you want. That's why you can't get these top-notch men that you want. And nobody's willing to, say that, man. And that's just unfortunate. But you know what? Part of being an adult is not being able to get everything you want.
That's true. That's true.
And unfortunately, a lot of these sisters, man, they feel like they're settling for a brother that works at the local Exxon plant that makes $120,000 a year. They think they're settling for a police officer up in New York that makes $180,000 a year. They think they're settling for a brother who's a school teacher or administrator making $80,000 a year. In their mind, they all deserve a 50 Cent. They all deserve a Barack Obama. They all deserve you name it, a Future. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Man, and you also brought up Trump. So I'm going to ask the question, the elephant in the room is, why is it that the recent polls are indicating that 25% of black men are set to vote for Donald Trump? He's a racist. He doesn't like anybody. He's mean. He's foggity. He lies. He's got a bunch of side women. He's a bad man, according to some of the cable news outlets. Why is it that black men are voting for Donald Trump, or set to vote for Donald Trump, according to the latest polls, or some of the polls, to the tune of 25%? Can you please explain that phenomenon? Whereas, by contrast, black women are still on the Democratic side and voting for them in the upper 90s. Can you, by your analysis, can you explain that to the audience?
Well, I'm thinking that black men are growing more and more frustrated with these left politicians, and they came out in 7% in 2016 for Donald Trump, and the number has increased because when they look at the cities that are run by Democrats, a lot of these black men are not seeing any sort of progress that benefits them. So they look at these Democrats and they're saying, I'm not getting what I need, especially working class, everyday black men out here. They're not seeing any sort of tangibles being offered to them by the Democratic Party. So a lot of them left us. And one of the things that led to a lot of them leaving in 2016 was the fact that we had all of these murders of black men, like Eric Garner, like Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, and your Barack Obama's Department of Justice did nothing in any of these cases. So these black men were sitting there hoping that the black president would provide them with justice, but the black president decided to blow off black men. And when he blew off black men, those black men decided to go to the other side. And now more and more of these black men are seeing some of these indirect benefits from a Trump presidency, because Trump's policies that deal with immigration actually lead to the indirect hiring of black men on jobs. And these black men are seeing that they can get employment, they can get economic footsteps that they couldn't get as related to the Obama presidency. And they're also seeing that the Trump administration has made a few little inroads here and there as related to trying to get justice for black men in some cases. Now, I'm not saying all cases, but we've seen in the case of the cases like George Floyd, we saw some action, I think, as related to that case. And whereas Barack Obama did nothing, his attorney general in the case of George Zimmerman practically ignored black people. And when he ignored black people and he did nothing about George Zimmerman, he basically created Donald Trump. And that's something people don't understand about Barack Obama. If it wasn't for his inaction on Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman, Donald Trump wouldn't be in the White House today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App, make sure you contribute to the PayPal, make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks.
I will scream and I will holler. Then I'll scream and holler some more, saying absolutely nothing.
You have a choice in legal representation. And in making that choice, do you want an attorney with a made-for-TV nickname to represent you in your serious car wreck claim?
I will growl, kick, and scream.
My name is Dennis Sperling. If you've been involved in a motor vehicle accident, contact me toll-free at 866-529-2444. The choice is yours.
Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App, make sure you contribute to the PayPal, make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks.
Good evening, everybody. So I want to talk to you all about something that an upcoming project of mine. And what I'm going to do for you all, and this is a follow-up to Rules to Live By, I want to talk to you about the Bible, the Holy Bible, King James Version, whatever you got, New World Version, it doesn't matter. Specifically, I want to talk to you about truly understanding what you're reading based on your red pill understanding. In other words, it's just like you got a pair of glasses, and when you put these glasses on, everything you read and understand has a red pill tint to it. And so what happens is, regarding male and female nature and human nature, you start to really understand things. And this will carry over into your real life. But those of you who read Rules to Live By volumes 1 through 3 know that I reference the Bible in it a lot
as related to conflict in the world, so that I can show you that even though I'm coming up with these rules are not new to society. I may state them differently, but they're actually tenets that man has used for thousands of years. I say that because the Bible is thousands of years old. So when you pick up the Bible and you see the same thing I'm saying now when I'm talking about, when I'm referencing how I was living in LA and how I learned to resolve physical conflict, emotional conflict, spiritual conflict, you will see that the principles that I apply are right there in your Bible, so you know that it's real. But tonight I want to talk about specifically Genesis chapter 3, verse 8. And for you all, this is the chapter known as the fall of man. And so basically what happened, for those of you all who've never read the Bible, who've never heard a story, Adam had God had created Adam, and Adam was doing good and working, and then he saw that he was lonely, so he laid him down and took a rib from him and made Eve to be his companion. And he said, be fruitful and multiply. Go name all the animals, and the world is yours. Had them set up in the Garden of Eden. Life was good. And, Adam, he was doing his thing. And, Eve one day, she had went off into the garden. And, God gave him one commandment. He said, you can have all these fruit here. You can eat anything you want. But don't eat from that fruit tree right there. That's a forbidden fruit. Forbidden fruit. Well, lo and behold, the serpent was also in the Garden of Eden. The serpent, which symbolizes Satan, temptation, telling God in Eve's ear one day and said, go on over there and bite that fruit. Now, mind you, God commanded Adam and Eve not to eat the fruit. Eve went and ate the fruit. And then after she ate the fruit, and she ate it because the devil said, if you eat this fruit, you're going to have knowledge of God. You're going to know good and bad and all that stuff is a good thing, She listened. And so she convinced Adam to eat the fruit. So round about chapter 3, verse 8, God comes walking in the Garden of Eden, and then Eve and Adam, they recognized that they were naked because, you see, they've been imbued with this knowledge, this worldly knowledge, and so they were ashamed of themselves. So they covered themselves up with fig leaves. And so God said, why are y'all covering yourself up? Did y'all eat the fruit why are you covering yourself up? And if you look at chapter 8, verse 8 specifically, he said, you, did not command you not to eat the fruit. And when he said you, he wasn't talking to Eve, he was talking to Adam. And Adam said, my wife was the one that told me. You know guys like that. My wife told me to do it. Nobody likes that, and God didn't like it either when you start blaming your wife for the stuff that you do. And so God basically punished Adam for not adhering to him and listening to his wife and seeking her pleasure, seeking her approval and her validation as opposed to God's. And so because Adam did that, he was punished. And Eve was punished separately. But Eve ate the fruit, and then she convinced Adam to eat the fruit. Adam wouldn't have ate the fruit had he was doing what he was supposed to do, but he wanted to make his little wife happy instead of doing what God wanted him to do. And so because of that, he got punished. Now, if I put my red pill lens on, what that tells me is this. It tells me that men were designed to seek the validation of women. That's what blue pill men do. In the red pill community, they call that blue pill men. You want to serve your woman. You want to make her happy. You need her attention. You want her approval. You want her acceptance. And so for the most part, you're there to serve. That's what you do. And But that's not what God said do. God said you can eat all these other fruit over here, but don't eat this one. That wasn't a very hard burden to meet. You can eat all these other fruit, just don't eat this one. But the very fruit that Eve was told not to eat, the very thing she was told not to do, she allowed this devil, because, the women, they're easily influenced. They operate on emotion, and emotions are inconsistent and unstable and not logical. And she succumbed to her emotions. And instead of Adam putting her back in her place by saying, no, you did wrong, we need to go God and explain to him what you did, he went and partaked in the fruit also. And that was God commanded, look at the verse. I want y'all to read the verse. God specifically addressed Adam. He didn't say you. He didn't say y'all. He said you, Adam. Why have you not obeyed my commandment? Because that was who was in charge. And so the lesson that we learn from that is that if you walk through life trying to please women, then you're going to be led astray. If you walk through life putting women before you put God, then you're going to be led astray. That's what I meant to say. So you have to put God first, which is something that I've been saying since I realized it. And it's what the Muslims say. The Muslims have this saying, submit to the will of Allah, which means submit to the will of God. That's what all these great religions are telling you to do. Don't follow man, don't follow woman, follow God. And that's a basic lesson. And if you really begin to read the Bible and you understand what you're reading, it will become a lot more meaningful to you. There's so much wisdom in that Bible. There's so much wisdom, but it's been lost on the generation because we get the religion confused with the writing. See, the religion and the stuff that people celebrate, the individual festivals, the individual cultural things that we do based on the religion of Christianity really has not much to do with the actual stories and the wisdom in the Bible. If you actually read the Bible itself and understand what you're reading and take the time to truly understand it as a body of work, there's great wisdom in there from our ancestors. Our ancestors from the Stone Age, 2,000 years ago. The human condition has not changed since that time. They are telling you, our ancestors are saying, look, man, you need to do what God wants you to do. You need to do his work and stay focused, and don't worry about these women over here. And don't pay attention to these women trying to lead you astray, because fellas, you're going to run across women who, they like smoking weed. They're going to give you that weed to smoke. And the next thing you know, you going to work and they're giving you a P test, so you lose your job. Or you dealing with a woman, she eat too much. Instead of correcting her, knowing that's not something you're supposed to do, you go ahead and fall in line and you eat as much as she does. Or she's lazy and slothful. It's your job to correct your woman. It's your job as the man to be the moral authority of your household. You are the God in that house, because you're in the place of God in that house. And so you can't tell women what to do if you're not the moral authority. And that's why I tell men all the time, some of us shouldn't be married. If you're not prepared to be the moral authority in your household, and that means what? You got to be God in that house. If God wouldn't do it, you shouldn't do it. And you got to love your wife like Jesus loved the church. So you got to be understanding, caring, loving. All these things I talk about in my books, Rules to Live By. You got to, Jesus loved the church. Is how you are supposed to love your wife. He loved the church with grace, understanding. Even when he chastised the church, it was done with so much love that it didn't feel like chastising. It felt like what it was intended to be, love. And so that's how Adam should have treated Eve. See, unlike Adam, remember Adam transgressed against God's law. Jesus came down to correct that. Adam's bride was Eve. Jesus' bride was the church. Adam's bride went astray. Adam went astray with her. Jesus' bride went astray, the church, and Jesus corrected the church. He died for it, but that was a sacrifice that he made to correct the church. You see? And so that also tells you this, even in the Bible, the man is geared to be the sacrificial lamb for the family. That's what it is. And if you really want to look at the biological aspects of it, and when we talk about human origin, I think we all can agree that we all, as human beings, devolved from one organism. All mammals are related. You go back down to one single cell organism that matured and matured and matured over millions and millions of years. And I believe that we weren't a dimorphic species at first. We was just a single cell species, just a female. And over time and evolution, the female gave rise to a male, which is to be her protector. That's why we're stronger. That's why we're smarter. That's why we have this internal drive within us to protect women and protect children and to build things so that society can be more comfortable for women and children. This is our biological imperative, and to reproduce ourselves. And what's happened is we've done such a good job at that we are no longer as necessary as we were to women when they created us millions and millions of, when we separated into two different sexes, millions and millions and millions and millions and years ago. And so now we're outdated, and so our biological imperative is still there, but many of us don't know what to do. So now what? Now men, because see, nature always fixes itself. And men are not getting married, they're not having as many children. The birth rate is decreasing, and in societies where the technology is to the point where women don't really need men, they got their own education. Even now with the technological stuff, you really just need one man and his sperm. You don't really need a bunch of men to impregnate all these women. You see? So men, we've done such a good job, we've become so adapted that we've made ourselves obsolete through our own doing. And when you start looking at stuff like that, it's amazing. All that from that Bible. See, the science is nothing more than us confirming what was already written in the Bible, in my opinion. For instance, we always talk about the end of the world, Revelations, and there'll be blood in the water and blood in the ocean. If you look at some of these environmental catastrophes that we have and the great floods, we're doing this to ourselves. Everything that's talked about in Revelations was that prophet standing there looking into the future, telling us what we're doing to ourselves. See, we are both the evil and the good of this planet. Your heaven is right here on this planet. You can make it a heaven or hell. And what we've done amongst ourselves is we've kind of turned it into a hell, and we're destroying this earth. So there's so much. I get a little bit more into it in Rules to Live By, Volume 3, when I talk real philosophically about the spiritual conflict that we endure. Some of you, it kind of goes over so many people's heads. But if you really sit back and read Rules to Live By, Volumes 1 through 3, you'll understand. And now I'm coming up with Rules to Live By, Volume 4, and it's going to be with a red pill tint on it. But I want you all, for the purposes of this message, to go take a look at your Bibles. Look at that story of Genesis. Look at it with your red pill confidence. Now that you understand hypergamy, look at the story of King David and Bathsheba, where she basically went in cahoots with the king to kill off her husband. Didn't say anything about it. Let him kill off the husband so she can go be the queen, marry the king, and have his baby. Take a look at that. Look at hypergamy. That's hypergamy. Look at female validation and what how he transgressed against God's word because he wanted to please the Lord as opposed to he wanted to please his woman as opposed to pleasing the Lord. Look at that. Look at Samson and Delilah. Look at those stories. How this female chameleon was everything that Samson wanted her to be. And then she used that information and betrayed him with it and took what was valuable to him, which is what happens to a lot of men in marriage. She's everything you want her to be. She's your best friend. Y'all get married, stay married for about 7 years. And the next thing you know, she running off with half your money, your house, and you're running your kids. And so what you as a man have to do, you have to stay focused on the Lord. You got to stay focused on God. And if you do that, and you stay focused on the Lord, then God will send you the woman that you're supposed to meet to be your helpmeet. But you have to stay focused on God. Those tests that she puts you through, give her the word of God in response. Learn that Bible, fellas. That's what I'm doing, you know. It's a blessing and a gift. So it's right there next to your bedstand. It's a good word in there. You need that spiritual guidance. You need that practical knowledge in there. And if you understand what you're reading, it really makes a lot of sense. I have to definitely owe my success, especially over the past 8-9 years, to really getting in contact with myself and then understanding that Bible, because that's the wisdom right there. You got all that wisdom. We blame single mothers, but the truth is, I'm in the Dominican Republic. There's a bunch of single, I don't even see men in the house, but they got to function in society because the culture is intact, because the women know what to do. The men are around, they may not be in the house. None of these women are really getting married like that. So they got the same issue that we have in the United States, and these are women of color, of African descent too, but they're raising their children. So what that tells me is that single mothers is not necessarily just the issue, it's also some other things in there. And the other thing has to do with the culture. So y'all enjoy this message. I look forward to looking at look at my post for the past 24, 48 hours. It kind of explains a lot more about this red pill tent that I use to kind of look at these biblical stories. And I'm sure you'll find it enlightening. So God bless you all. Pick those Bibles up, read them. It doesn't matter if you're Christian, whatever you are, Christian, Hebrew, Israelite, Muslim, atheist. Read the Bible. The wisdom is in there. It's a science to that Bible when you understand what you're reading. So y'all be blessed. I love you. Have a wonderful day. And remember, if you've been involved in a car accident, call me at my office or inbox me. And if you were affected by an explosion anywhere in the country, you give me a call, because God has blessed me to be able to start working on, you know, my environmental law bona fides, which is why I went to school all those years. Since 2017, I've been getting a bunch of big cases. So God willing, you know, I'm on my destiny. I'm on my square. I'm on my path. I feel good about where I'm headed. And I have to definitely attribute that to my spiritual awakening. So God bless you all. Thank the Lord. You brothers, you sisters, everybody, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. Pick your Bible up. The world would be a lot better place if we had a better understanding of who we are, where we came from, and what our ancestors wanted us to know. Be blessed.
The only time black men are allowed to speak is when it benefits others. So, hey, this is your opportunity to speak. I want to hear from you. And if you want to make this voice louder and clearer, then what you need to do is contribute to the Cash App, the PayPal, and the Super Chat. I appreciate you.